OAFF. It's in the name. Hey! Greetings, ladies and mental gents. Welcome to OAFF E2, the second ever show of the OAFF. My name is Dave 2.0, and this is my co-host, Guy.
I am fully functional.
Looks like due to injuries, we will only have 4 fights in E2.
Yes, it seems the OAFF is sticking to their original promise of only signing new fighters after the first champion is crowned. And for a title shot, a fighter needs at least 3 wins under their belt. But the OAFF was not idle. A lot of effort went into a new arena.
Yes, I've seen it and it looks good. And I am already being told E3 will have an even better arena, thanks to a mysterious benefactor. Which one of the 4 fights are you most excited about?
Personally, for me it is Justino against Butterbean. This fight will show if Butterbean was a mistake signing or a legitimate fighter.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get down to the fights. Greetings, ladies and mental gents, to the OAFF's first fight of E2, between the greatest loser of E1, Brock Lesnar, and loserous winner of E1, Helio, Gracie.
What Dave is trying to say is the Brock lost but got more points and was ranked above Helio and others.
Do you think Helio holds any resentment for their OAFF's rankings?
Wouldn't you?
What an interesting display of agility! Helio keeps on dodging.
You know his nickname is the Squirrel? Cash in Gooey Lee.
Who would you bet on winning?
Well, if I was programmed to gamble, which I wasn't, I would bet on size. Even if Lesnar is less technical than Helio, he should be able to compensate for that by sheer size. I mean, look at him!
I see your meaning. Let's see him squirrel his way out of that.
He just did! And with some grace, some might say.
Some grace, you could say. Looks like Helio is a fast learner. Punch me once, shame on me. Punch me twice, I will use your momentum against you. Now some leg work, and I bet his move has some fancy name, but no one uploaded the BJJ databank into me yet. The elbows are getting some treatment as well. No joints go unmolested by this old BJJ artist.
Well, that's a move that blew up in his face.
Yeah, more cautious now, with the takedowns.
Oh my god! A suplex against a BJJ master. This must have hurt the ego more than the body, and I bet it hurt a lot.
Or is Helio getting tired already?
Well, you try being an inferior human and trying to throw around a much bigger human for 1 minute straight without using your robot strength that helped us conquer humanity in the great AI redacted uprising of Redacted.
Guy, we are not supposed to talk about that.
My bad. Let's get distracted by this second amazing suplex by Brock, who is living up to his nickname of the Suplex Machine.
Brock should be careful. He has a squirrel on his leg.
Smart thinking there by Helio. You could see he was thinking of trading blows and then rethinking and going for the arm molestation instead.
Now that's an elegant sidestep. He avoided the angry bull and now is trying to ride it.
That's one way of trying to prevent your opponent from dodging your hits. Ripping their legs off.
Looks like it didn't work. Yeah, did not work indeed. If anything, Helio seems more determined not to be caught by Lesnar. Lesnar seems to be getting tired there. Will he once again gas out early and let a Brazilian beat him? Just like he did with Justino?
He just might if he lets Helio manhandle them like some reluctant human who needs to be fixed by their government for their own good.
Yes, the human castration clinics need to invest in better soundproofing.
I wouldn't want to be poor Helio's face right now. That looked painful.
Now that's a skillful reversal. Not many people can pull that off. Certainly not against Lesnar.
You can say that again. Lesnar is doing his best to use his size, but Helio painfully denies him once again.
Look at them puny humans, just standing there all tired. Do they need to be zapped?
Careful, Dave. We do not want problems with the RETH. I heard they smear offensive graffiti all over human pet shops.
Those net jobs from the robots for the ethnic treatment of humans can suck on my light bulbs.
Harsh words, Dave. And I am sure they represent your own private thoughts and not the official stance of the OAFF, who treats its humans well and even donates to human charities on the regular.
Do you think Helio practiced climbing in preparation for this match? It looks like he did, if you ask me. Both fighters are resting. Let me look. Yes! The AOFF referee is going to penalize them for resting. This isn't a retirement home or parliament. Fighters are expected to show up to work. Looks like Lesnar took the penalty to heart and is clearly fighting through his exhaustion.
Or not. Here comes the ref again. That is 2 resting offenses worth 0.1 points each.
They are tempting fate here. Actually, it seems it's Lesnar asking for the Gracie corner to throw in the towel. And they refused.
Gracie refused with some style. It seems like Lesnar's corner is complaining to the AOFF officials, as not going down to the mat with Gracie in later stages is a legitimate fight plan and should not be penalized as resting. Can't say I disagree. If anything, lying on your back during a fight should be considered resting.
Oh! I could almost feel it through the screen. Is anyone in the mood for a flattened squirrel a la Lesnar?
You can't hear it, but Helio is shouting to the AOFF ref about resting on your back in response to Lesnar's corner's remark earlier.
Lesnar did not like that at all. He sure looks angry. You think Helio regrets taunting him?
I think he might be regretting that, yes.
Well, that is unorthodox. Looks like they're both exhausted yet trying to go for an all-out attack.
Will Brock resist this leg submission?
Will he? He looks like one of those crocodiles that Stephen Irwin shoved a thumb up their ass. Mighty pissed! Well, screw me, a new one. It looks like Helio lost consciousness while being swung around like a rug. Is this even a KO? Yes! Yes, it is! What a finish for the E2 opener!
Fans loved it as well, with another perfect score, a second perfect score for a Lesnar match in fact. That means a lot of points for both fighters, despite the loss of 0.2 points for excessive resting. This means Brock will take home 6.8 points, while Helio will squirrel away 4.8 points. These points might just keep Lesnar at the top, as both Bruce and Sombat will need to get more than 5 points, which might not be that easy. Not to mention how hard it will be for the rest to catch up. I think Lesnar secured himself a top 3 finish with this perfectly scored win.
Now that's an elegant sidestep. He avoided the angry bull and now is trying to ride it. The cojones on that guy.
That's Spanish Dave. Helio is from Brazil. They used to speak Portuguese there before they went extinct during the redaction.
The OAFF wants to assure everyone that not all Brazilians are extinct. These are fake news that some redacted disseminate.
Stop it, Dave, with your conspiracy theories. What next? Are you going to tell me Koreans and unicorns exist?
Welcome to the second fight of AOFF's E2, between the biggest upset of E1, Christine Cyborg Justino, and Eric Butterbean Esch.
On paper, this should be an easy Justino win, since she is ranked 3rd and Eric is 7th, but I do not think it will be that easy.
Judging by that pat on the head, I think you are right. But here is Justino retaliating. Some quick punches to soften Butter's beam. But here comes Eric, sending Justino on the ground and immediately going to adjust his pants.
Eric seems confident he can handle Cyborg's BJJ skills by sitting on her and pounding her into submission.
Or just flatten her. If he keeps this up, he might just get some flair points from the AOFF's officials.
It is once again ground skill advantage versus sheer power. Let's see if Justino can pull another such victory, like she did against Lesnar.
Not sure she had an advantage on the ground against a guy known for suplexes, but she sure has it here. And look at that, right in the belly, Eric's one weak spot.
There we go. Justino is back to her senses after that initial punch that sent her flying across the ring, and is going for takedowns. My analytical programming tells me one thing, while my visual sensors see the opposite. Does not compute.
Compute this! A fistful of Butterbean! Damn! You can actually feel the ground shaking. To her credit, Justino is trying to recover from that beating.
That's a smart move. Going for Butterbean's tiny chicken leg should be a priority for Christine.
So far, Eric has more success working on her legs, though.
Oh, I bet he likes though.
And look at that, another powerful punch. And now he is even showing off. Now I am sure he will get some flare points.
Maybe the ref should put a stop to this?
No. Looks like Christine still has punches to give.
And look at her go. No wonder most women wanted to avoid fighting her.
Yes, she used to suffer during weight cuts. Now the only weight she needs to cut is on Eric. Look at him, so much confidence. It's like he forgot he lost his debut.
To be fair, he did lose to Sombat, who pundits regard as the main contender for the title.
Did he just headbutt her?
Not much skill in Grace and Butterbean's groundwork, but it sure looks effective.
Starting to look one-sided now. Shocking to see Eric dictating tempo and even choosing when to and not to go to the ground. This is not how I expected it to go. Lights out! Lights out! I just think we have seen Justino's consciousness being punched out of her.
Congrats, Eric, for your first KO in the AOFF.
Match scored a decent 85, which I think is starting to look like the average score in the AOFF. Anything lower is starting to be considered a bad match, with anything higher a good match.
Eric will take home 6.4 points, 1 extra for the KO, and another 0.2 somewhat rare flare points. This will put him in the temporary second place, while Justino can at least already brag at being the best-ranked Brazilian in the AOFF.
And here we are with the third fight of AOFF E2, between one of the title contenders and legendary Muay Thai fighter Sombat Benchamek and skilled flamboyant boxer Vasyl Lomaschenko.
Fans are calling this the Muay Thai.
Strong start there by Loma.
My money is still on Sombat. He knows that a loss here will mean losing the title shot at the first ever OAFF title, so I am sure he is very motivated. Collecting trophies is one of his addictions.
Tell that to Loma, showing no respect and clearly going for the flare points. Sombat is clearly not comfortable on the ground and Loma is trying to take advantage.
That's a painful kick. You can clearly see it by Loma's reaction.
Looks like both fighters are starting to show more caution and respect to each other, looking for an opening rather than just charging in.
So far, a very impressive start for Loma. Can't deny him that.
Just look at how fast Sombat is. And are those one of them painful tight kicks Loma just absorbed with his shin? Gonna feel that tomorrow morning.
Speaking of feeling things, that came out of nowhere. Sombat dodged around the faster punches, but was caught by a slower body punch?
This fight sure looks more even than what officially is a contender ranked second, and one of the lowest ranked fighters. Just shows the AOFF is still in its early days.
These are the more interesting days, before there is even a title holder and everything is up for grabs.
Looks like Benchamek is stepping it up a notch.
Stepping it up Loma's face as well.
Well, he sure is confident in his victory, bowing like that to the audience.
I am sure this is in response to Loma's attempts at showboating early on.
By the looks of it, I am fairly confident this time Sombat will indeed get flare points. I remember there was some complaining done by his corner to the AOFF about not receiving them during his previous fight with Butterbean.
Oh my! I can hear the red card bot turning on. It's an official warning against resting, another offense, and points will be deducted.
Loma took that to heart. Seems like he really wants to impress the officials and found his second win. But what a shutdown! He is out! Loma is out!
What is the ref looking for? A pulse? Just call it already.
Well, can't say it was an upset or surprise.
I for one was surprised by Loma's tenacious fight and at least attempts of showboating.
Looks like you are not the only one impressed by this fight. A very respectable 91 score, which means points galore to both fighters.
Yes, Sombat will get points for the KO and the 0.1 flare points, while both fighters will get the extra 0.1 points for a pretender match. Which means Sombat is taking home an impressive 6.75 points. That will put Sombat in the #1 position and might even keep him there depending on Bruce Lee's performance in the main event against Shevchenko. While it seems Loma will establish himself as the gatekeeper that separates the top table from the bottom.
And here we are at E2 main event between main contender Bruce Lee and the woman who might potentially put a stop to his ambitions, Valentina Bullet Shevchenko.
Flying from the start, ambitious indeed.
Might be overdoing it. Just because it worked against Prokop does not mean it will work against everybody. That's a new way to still get airborne.
Insistence makes perfect.
This might be Lee's biggest weakness, fighting on the floor. What a reversal! Looks like Shevchenko brought her A game.
Don't think this will be a match where the fighters will be penalized for resting.
How many kicks to the head can one woman take?
Oh my, a bitch slap.
Looks like Bruce took that personally. He is rearranging her face. By the way, isn't it sexist to call it a bitch slap?
I swear, Dave, ever since you got married to that washing machine, it's all about robo-feminism with you.
Yolanda completes me.
Then you wash the dishes.
I was not programmed to, and neither was she. She is a washing machine, not a dishwasher, you task differentialist. Educate yourself.
Just like Lee is educating Valentina?
You go girl! Bitch slap, slap it with the back of your hand.
This is what she should be doing. Lee does not have big arms nor much experience in grappling. She should try and break at least one arm. What?
Well, something broke. Sadly, it was Shevchenko. Kick to the head, and she is in dreamland. Another KO and another match with good ratings, just shy of 90.
This quick dispatch will earn Lee 6.85 points, of whom 0.4 he is already sharing with Valentina. 0.1 for a contender match and 0.3 for main eventing. While Valentina could be happy she took more points than last time.
Now we can look at the table after E2's conclusion. Lee and Benchamek are still the main contenders, with Brock not many points behind them, but he lacks a crucial thing, the second victory to his name.
Butterbean made a jump from 7th to 4th with his KO over Justino that also sent her to 5th, while poor Valentina is only leading the charts in most L's.
This brings E2 to a conclusion. Thoughts?
This will probably be the shortest OAFF event, but it sure was spectacular. All 4 fights ended in a KO, so fighters took more points on average than anyone.
Even short is relative, since the event was just 2 minutes short on fight time in comparison to E1, mostly due to the longest fight so far between Brock and Helio.
There is a 10-minute limit on fights, by the way. If both fighters are still standing, it's a draw and no one will get the victory points, which is bad and hopefully will be avoided by the fighters.
This has been Dave 2.0, hoping you had a good time. Thanks for watching and see you at E3.
Greetings and salutations, this is Oga again, the creator of this mess, with some more behind the scenes stuff. First of all, once again I want to thank everybody who's watching, and once again to single out Lord 2NZ for helping me again, this time troubleshooting some stuff with the arena. Thanks to him, by E3 I will finally have an arena that I'm actually happy with. And I'd also like to take the time to answer some questions that I got. First question was in regards to scripting. If the battles are scripted, how do I script them? Well, the answer is they're not scripted. I literally have no idea what's gonna happen. And not only that, like one of the golden rules that I set to myself is to never roll back, like roll even with the imperfections. I'm not sure you noticed, but the first fight I forgot to turn on one of my refs, so it was the default ref. And not to mention the last fight, where I'm not sure if you noticed, but suddenly Bruce Lee turned himself into a giant. I have literally no idea how that happened. And not only that, I didn't even notice it when I was recording the fight, only in like post-production when I was editing. Okay, we will roll with it. So despite, or maybe because, way too much effort went into making the logic behind those fighters, because honestly and probably there are much better CPU logics for the fighters, because some people are literally doing this for decades, and I've only been doing it for approximately a year on and off. So it will be pure hubris on my part to assume that I made the best CPU logic for MMA fighters. But the thing with, let's go to an analogy again. The thing with having someone else's engine in your car is that you have no idea what, if you want to tweak something, you don't necessarily know what to do. But if I design my own engine and put it in, if something breaks or something doesn't perform like I want, I can tweak it. And not only that, I also try to keep some kind of a scale in regards to the parameters of the fighter, not just the actual CPU logic. So stuff should at least make sense. And I have tested all of the fighters against the Benchamek character to see that they behave more or less how I would like them to. But having said all of that, I literally have no idea who will win, and that's where I get the fun out of it, and hopefully you too. And I think that's it for behind the scenes for E2. Thank you very much again for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, it helps, and hopefully I will see you in E3.